What is up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of SacTown Movie Buffs. Once again, I'm Kierre, and this is Jason, and today we are back reviewing a new film that we found streaming called Bad Trip, which can be found streaming on Netflix currently, correct?
Correct. Yeah. It's. I think it was number one on Netflix even last week.
Yeah, I think
last
you're
weekend.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
do remember seeing it was like the number one Netflix movie. I don't know how they come up with that stuff, though. You know what I mean? Like, is it really number one, or do they just make it number one? You know what I mean? I feel like partially they just force it down your throat till it's number one, because I know sometimes movies come up and it's like the first day that it came out, and it says it's like number one on Netflix, and I'm like, this just came out today. You know what I mean? Like, so either I don't know. So it's possible.
Yeah. Well, I think it's from what I've heard, Netflix has always been pretty cagey about releasing that kind of data. Like they don't really release how they count ratings and stuff like that. But I don't know. I think it's probably a little of both. Because if it's the very first thing that pops up when you log on to Netflix and it says number one, then probably a lot of people. Yeah, sure, I'll watch this.
Yeah.
And then it is number one.
Yeah,
probably
it's like
a
kind of
circle.
I think they, because like it's like also like I'll look at their like top 10 films or shows or whatever, and like they'll have like some movie from like 2005 or something like that that's like number 6, and I'm just like, really? That's like all of a sudden people just flock to Netflix to watch some movie that came out like 15 years ago. So I don't know. So.
Yeah, I think it's probably because it's new to Netflix, which means they're hyping it, which means people watch it. Because I know a lot of people. This is not me, but I know a lot of people who never bother to like search for anything on Netflix. They just turn it on and they pick something that pops up in front of them. You know what I mean? And that's usually, what their top 10 is what they're pushing.
Yeah.
So, me, I go in depth and try to figure out what, the movies that are leaving soon so I can make sure to watch those. And I search for stuff and I watch, stuff that's older on there, along with the newer stuff. But a lot of people just it pops up. Oh, it's top 10. I never saw that. Let's watch it. So it's probably
true. Yeah, I don't know. I still think that there's a little secret to their marketing, and they want it because they also, if it's brand new, they also want people to watch it as well.
Well, so. Sure. Yeah, sure, of course.
There might be a little bit of that too, I feel like. So
yeah,
I don't take them at their word.
Well, maybe you can investigate it here.
Definitely will. As soon as we get off this, I'm going to be going deep into the dark web of Netflix and finding out
undercover into the bowels of Netflix.
Find out what's really going on. What's really going on? I'm getting the numbers. I'm bringing back the answers.
Yeah, you do that.
Oh, cool. Well, I say we get right into it, man. Let's go ahead and talk about Bad Trips. I'll bring that in real quick. And Jason, I believe you're going to take this one on for us. So tell us a little bit about Bad Trip.
Yeah, so this is, as we said, it's a big, popular, at least we think so, movie on Netflix right now. It's a comedy. It stars Eric Andre, Lil Rel Howery, and Tiffany Haddish. And it is part of the, it's kind of, the movie I've been connecting it to, the only other one that I really think compares to it is Bad Grandpa, which came out because it's a prank movie, but it's not strictly pranks. You know what I mean? Like, it's not.
Like Jackass was kind of more of an actual prank movie all the way through.
Yeah, stunts.
Stunts. Whereas this was more like prank within a framework of a movie, basically.
Right. Yeah. Instead of just like pranks after, like stunts after stunts or pranks after pranks, it fits those within like actually like a narrative story so it has like the actors, they actually act scenes, and then in between the scenes that carry the story along are like actual hidden camera pranks that they pull on people. So I like that. I like that approach. Like I remember being surprised when I saw Bad Grandpa, not only how good it was, I really, really liked Bad Grandpa, but I wasn't expecting it to have like a story along with the hidden camera jokes. So anyway, Bad Trip is along those lines. Basically, Eric Andre plays this guy who sees his old high school crush. This is the story, with the pranks around it. He sees his high school crush, and that he was in love with many years ago, and he embarks on a road trip to go basically, you know, confess his love, ask her out, whatever. And accompanying him on the road trip is his best friend, played by Lil Rel Howery, from Get Out. A lot of people know him from Get Out. I think he had his own show there for a little while, but that was I don't think it lasted. But and then Tiffany Haddish is Lil Rel Howery's sister, who is an ex-con on their trail because they took her car to make the road trip because she was in jail, and she breaks out of jail. And the scene she breaks out of jail is probably one of my favorites in the movie. But yeah, I really like this movie. I didn't like it quite as much as Bad Grandpa. I really like that movie, and I was surprised that I did. But it's very, very funny. I did laugh out loud a lot, like quite a bit. And I laughed hard, several times. So that's the mark of a good comedy. Some of the pranks are, a little lame. Some of them, like, and I'm not a prude by any means, but some of them, like, were unnecessarily crude, I thought. But overall, I really, really enjoyed it. And much like Bad Grandpa, I think it had a surprising amount of, like, heart. The story wasn't just like an afterthought. It had like, it had like a focus, and like, they wrapped it up nice, and it leaves you feeling good, and of course they have like the bloopers at the end that show you some of the people, because some of the pranks, like, you wonder, like, wow, like, because it's really tense, for a few seconds there, and you're like, I wonder how this person reacted when they found out it was not real or whatever. So you get to see some of that afterwards. But overall, yeah, I mean, like, it was 90 minutes long. I laughed a whole lot. It's I like the actors. I enjoyed it a lot. How about you?
Yeah, I liked it as well. I didn't love it, but I did like it. And going back to, hate to compare it to Bad Grandpa, but it's kind of the only two films that I can think of in recent memory that are set
Yeah.
up in the same capacity. My issue with both of those films is that they're uncomfortable. You know what I mean? It's like the settings are very uncomfortable. So not only is it crude, but it's also very uncomfortable in many circumstances. So it's always like that cringe worthy watching kind of, you know what I mean? Because like half of the scenes where they're doing these pranks on people that are really, really tasteless stuff, you know what I mean? You're like cringing like almost the entire time. So it's like, yeah, it's funny, but it's also hard to completely enjoy it because you're also cringing at the same time. You
Yeah,
know what I
you're just
mean?
like, oh god,
Yeah. So I always have some issues just with that, and I don't necessarily fault them for that 100%, but I do have to kind of address that is something that you have to be aware of when you're watching a film like that, because they do a lot of like crazy hijinks that, you know, projectile vomiting and things of that nature. You know what I mean? Stuff like that is really, really hard to kind of watch and just completely laugh and just have fun with it because it's very cringeworthy, and because they're also performing these like pranks on like real people that, you know what I mean, you don't know what their reaction's always going to be, you know what I mean, like
yeah, they get a knife pulled on them at one point.
yeah,
And I don't think it's a spoiler because I've seen articles about it.
yeah,
But they actually get a knife pulled on them at some point, and the guy, the person who did it didn't have their face blurred, so they must have allowed, they must
yeah,
have,
they
I
probably
don't
were
know.
cool with it after the fact or whatever, and said, yeah, I'll still be in the movie or whatever, but because there
Yeah,
are
but
people in the movie that do have their face blurred, so you could tell that they either opted not to be on camera or whatever case may be
couldn't be contacted maybe.
yeah, or something of that nature. So,
But I read that Lil Rel Howery actually walked off of the movie after that happened. After he got a knife pulled on him, and he walked off the movie for a while, and then he came back a little bit later on and brought Tiffany Haddish with him. So that must have been one of the very first ones they did, because they
right,
didn't even have Tiffany Haddish in there yet. But
yeah,
yeah, so yeah, I know what you mean. Like, it is. It's almost even more than like cringe comedy. It's like mortal danger comedy.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
I
Like,
don't know. I just, like I said, and I don't consider myself to be a prude in any capacity. I've watched some pretty, violent and graphic stuff or whatever case may be, but it does kind of just it's hard to like a comedy that's fun and funny. You know what I mean? But also where you're just like, ooh, you know, like that's gross or that's tasteless or that's, you know what I mean? It does put you in a really weird, awkward place when you're watching it. So it's hard to be like fully engaged and fully enjoying it because I'm more concerned about knowing the people that are they're pranking their reaction. You know what I mean? How's this person going to respond to this situation or whatever case may be that they're putting them through? So that was a little odd for me. But overall, like I said, it is a funny movie. I did enjoy it. Um, I'm a little surprised that people weren't recognizing not necessarily these two, but Tiffany Haddish has been in enough stuff that I feel like she's somewhat recognizable. With the groups and the demographics that they were constantly, pranking. You know what I mean? I'm like, I always think it's weird that nobody recognizes who they were. You know what I mean? So that was the other thing I thought was kind of a little weird. So I don't know, but
yeah, I guess I thought about that too, but I think it's because she, I think she deglammed a lot. You know what I mean? Like she's got tattoos and like scars on her face, I think, and but I know what you mean. She still looks like Tiffany Haddish.
Yeah. I just thought that was a little, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that if I was in that situation, I would immediately be like, "Is that Tiffany Haddish?" You know what I mean? Like I just feel like I would have recognized her immediately. If I was there or the bar or wherever they were at or whatever case may be, I feel like I would have known that. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think she's recognizable enough to where they should have maybe did her up a little bit more because it still looked like Tiffany Haddish at the very. She didn't have makeup on, but it still looked like Tiffany Haddish. So
that scene where she escapes, where she crawls out from under the prison bus. I felt so sorry for that guy.
yeah. So there's like some guy like doing like graffiti or cleaning off graffiti off of the wall, and she's like basically escaping from the bus, and like the guard is like looking for her, and he's like, "Just you better get out of here. You better run. Just get away from me." You know what I mean? So yeah. So that was one of the funnier scenes. I did like that. And that one wasn't cringeworthy. It was funny, but it wasn't like super cringeworthy. It was just funny.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff that the two of them do is very like, ooh.
So, yeah.
But overall, yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. Watch it again. Probably, I won't be rushing out to watch it, but it was fun. It's a fun movie. And it's like you said, it's very short. It's only hour and a half, something like that, a little bit longer.
Yeah, tops, I think.
Yeah, so it's a very short movie, so it's not like it's takes too long to get to where they're getting to. And like I said, if you're looking for just like a good laugh and you've got Netflix, and then definitely one that I say just check out. You should definitely laugh at least a few times, and a few times hopefully you're laughing out loud for sure.
So, oh yeah, I was the whole time almost.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, it's a pretty, simple movie to describe for the most part. So, was there anything else you want to add about Bad Trip?
Nope. I enjoyed it.
Cool. Well, I guess let's get into those reviews then. So, what's your overall grade and face you would give Bad Trip?
I gave it a solid 4 out of 5, B+. I enjoyed it a lot. So that's this face. That's the face I was making most of the time. If I wasn't going like this, oh my god,
For sure. Usually I'm about a star lower than you are, and I'm probably going to be in this case as well. Like I said, it's just some of the cringeworthy stuff. I thought it was funny. I did enjoy it, but there are a lot of parts that were like just cringeworthy that makes it kind of questionable whether I would immediately want to revisit it. So with that, I gave it a 3 out of 5, and I'm just going to give it a big smile. No teeth in this situation, just a big smile. Like I said, it's funny. It's you got to go into knowing it's going to be a little crude and that kind of stuff, and I think you'll be okay. But like I said, I did have a few just cringe-worthy moments with it, which made it hard to completely be immersed in it and just enjoy it completely. So
right,
cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's our review. Let us know down in the comments your thoughts, your takes on Bad Trip. Have you seen it? Did you like it? What did you think? As always, if you like the channel, we ask that you like, subscribe, make sure you hit the bell notification so you don't miss any of our updates. And we'll be back again with another show for you guys again real soon. We thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. Bye.
Bye.